Hello, hello. Thank you for joining. I know that this is an impromptu training, but I figured you got to just do it, right? So if you are watching the replay, give me a hashtag replay below. That way I know you at least stopped by. If you are popping on and joining me live, go ahead and give me either your favorite emoji or tell me where you are tuning in from. This just allows me to know that the comments are working and that I can see all of your comments. Feel free to go ahead and click that share button if you would like. This is going to be a training on Facebook algorithm and how to get maximum exposure from your audience. So this is not company specific at all. So this can be shared within the network marketing industry all over. So again, once you are hopping on, just put below where you're tuning in from or your favorite emoji. Again, that just allows me to know that the comments are working and I can see where everybody's tuning in from, how far my reach is, right? Like where, excuse me, where my network is. So for those of you who do not know me, my name is Brittany Kaplan and I am a top leader in my industry. And I watched a training yesterday by somebody that I look up to, and my mind was like seriously blown, okay? Because I pride myself on being like knowledgeable on social media. Like it's part of my job. I've trained at corporate conventions on social media platforms, and although I did know some of the information that he talked about, there was some stuff that he said that I was like, what? Are you kidding me? Why didn't I know this? So I felt like I have got to just throw it all together, throw some notes together. I have pages of notes, so we're going to jump right into this. I want you guys to get some information. So let's talk about Facebook algorithm, right? A Facebook algorithm is basically this mathematical, like, concoction of your exposure, okay? So Facebook determines who gets to see what on your timeline, okay? So did anybody not know, and just comment me below, did you know that Facebook does not show all of your posts to everybody on your friends list, right? Like, if you're not familiar with how social media works, you're probably like, what? Right? So you mean all my friends haven't been ignoring me? Okay, so what happens is Facebook determines who gets to see what, and how that's determined is by something called a Facebook algorithm. So there's four things that Facebook considers, and I have notes, so I am going to be like up and down, okay? So the first thing that they do is they take inventory, okay? So they take inventory of your friends list, they take inventory of the pages that you've liked, of the groups that you're in, right? So basically the things that you're part of on Facebook, right? So they just take an inventory. They kind of like weigh the options of what you're interested in and who you're communicating with, and they take that into consideration to determine where your posts belong on the newsfeed of your friends. Isn't that crazy? So that's one of the factors that Facebook takes into consideration, okay? The second thing is it's called signals, okay? Now signals is it's like an engagement time. It's a type of content. It's basically all of these things that you're doing send signals back to Facebook so that they can determine where you belong in other people's news feeds, okay? So it's like you might have 5,000 friends, but really only a very small, tiny fraction of your friends are seeing the things based on your Facebook algorithm, okay? The next thing is predictions. So Facebook basically, it predicts, it takes in all of these signals, all of these things that have to do with your friends list, the groups that you're part of, the pages that you've liked, all of this stuff, right? And it makes its own prediction on what your friends think is valuable and what's not valuable, right? So you might feel like the content that you're putting out there is great and everybody needs to know about it, but guess what? Facebook might think otherwise because it's taking in a lot of these factors to determine where your stuff should show up on people's news feeds, okay? So basically they look at those signals, they make that prediction, and they give you a score, okay? So they give you a score and a ranking on Facebook, and it just determines how many people are going to see things, when they're going to see things, and for how long they're going to see things, okay? So let's talk about engagement. Okay, so how popular a post is determined on a couple of things, okay? It's determined on likes, it's determined on comments, it's determined on shares, it's determined on how long somebody actually looks at something. So if they're scrolling through, there's an average time that Facebook has deemed appropriate of somebody looking at your post or your Facebook Live that deems them interested in something, whether they've liked or commented on it at all. So what you want to do is to rank them in most importance. That's going to get you the most engagement. Comments are key on your material, okay? Likes are great, but comments are even better, okay? So you want to go big or go home. You always want to focus on the comments. So there's 5 factors in engagement, okay? The first thing is managing your friends list, okay? And this is something that I was like, it was one of those, whoa, okay, hello, you've just blown my mind. So a lot of times we think that the more people that we have on our friends list, the better audience exposure that we have, more eyes can see our things. Let's max out our friends list. If you're not aware, you can only have 5,000 friends on Facebook, and then you have a follow feature, okay? So does anybody I've been one of these people. I'm like, because my friends list is maxed out. I just asked people this morning for my company to unfriend me and start following me because it's like, I need all the people. Give me all the people, right? Well, listen, here's the thing. Again, it's one of those stats that Facebook looks at, and let's say you have 200 friends, okay? And out of those 200 friends, about only 10% are probably seeing your post, okay? So let's say you had 100 friends that on your friends list, and about 60 of them were engaging, right? Which is going to be more beneficial for your business? Having 200 friends and only 10% of them engaging on your post, or having 100 friends and 60 of those people being able to see your post? Clearly, the latter is the option that you want to go with. So don't look at quantity, look at quality. Okay, so you want to manage your friends list. You want to go through it. If you have people on your friends list that you know that are not engaging, that you know that are not seeing your things, that are never going to support you, unfriend those people. It's better to have a smaller group of people that are going to interact with your posts, that are going to give that social engagement so that your score can go up on Facebook, okay? The other thing is, so stop mass adding people, right? So this goes with the friends list thing. I know in a lot of companies you're trained, okay, add 50 people a day or whatever the case may be. Stop mass adding people, because here's what's happening. Just because you've made that connection with somebody, they've accepted that friend request, Facebook is not going to show them your post automatically. So you're going to have all of these people not seeing your post. They're taking up prime real estate in your friends list, and it's affecting your score, your engagement score on Facebook, okay? New people aren't paying attention to your post, right? So it's hurting you to add these people. You want quality, not quantity. So really sit and do like a review of your friends list and figure out, who do I keep, who do I not keep, right? Smaller amount of friends is obviously better than engaging, and I wrote that down in like big, huge capital letters. All right. Another thing is like if they haven't posted in a while, give them the boot, right? You can tell if you go through your friends list and you see that they haven't posted in like weeks or months, you're out of there, right? You are on Facebook not to make friends. You are on Facebook to make money and build a business. You have to start looking at your social media platforms, especially Facebook, as your place of business. It's not a place that you can just, especially if you're building a business, right, on social media. Facebook is not for playing the games. Facebook is not for keeping up with people. Facebook, you have to start looking at it as your means of income. This is your vehicle to create and build that legacy that you're trying to build, and you can't just keep people around just because. So that means like your 8th grade favorite math teacher, right? She's great, but follow her, don't friend her, okay? Don't give her that spot that's prime real estate for somebody that could be building and growing your business, right? Family members, right? Like, I love my family. I'm so close to my family, but guess what? They're all getting the boot later today. You're going to get followed, and I'm going to keep those spaces for people who are going to support me in my business. I'm here to make money. I'm here to grow a business. I'm here to teach other people to do that as well. So don't give up those important spaces to people, because it's hurting your business, okay? It's hurting that score that Facebook gives you for engagement. Okay, the thing that you're doing when you're having all of these people on your Facebook page that are not supporting you, that are not liking, that are not commenting, that are not active on social media, you're diluting your influence. You're diluting that score that Facebook gives you. So you're basically telling Facebook, hey, look, I have all of these friends, but nobody wants to interact. And Facebook is going to go, okay, so why should we give you a higher score? Why should we put you in front of more eyes if you can't even get the friends on your Facebook to interact in your post? Is this starting to make sense? It's like a light bulb moment, okay? So here's like a little tip, okay? Here's, listen, this is not the end all be all. All of this stuff, it's going to work differently for other people, but here's like, like a guideline. So you want to add 10 and you want to delete 5, okay? Add 10, delete 5, because here's the thing, not everybody is going to stay social on social media. They're not going to stay active on Facebook. So you always want to be filtering through your friends list. Remember, you want quality, not quantity. You want to have that social interaction to up that Facebook score so that you can have that higher exposure on Facebook, okay? And then another thing is a lot of times people are trained, don't add people from your company, right? When I first started, I was blocking people that were trying to add me, and then I started to realize, like, wait, hold on, this is not making any sense. I need some type of credibility, especially if you're first starting out. You can add people from the same company that you're with. It adds credibility to your post. People are going to support you that are in the same business as you, but be very selective about the people that you choose, okay? You don't want to sit and mass add hundreds of people from the same company that you're with, but do add people from your company in a very select amount so that you can add credibility to your post when they're liking and commenting, especially when you're first starting out and people are like, hold on, she's starting a business, what's going on? Your credibility, unfortunately, is measured in social media by your likes and comments. That's just the reality of the situation. And the only way to get that sometimes is from your fellow network marketers in your business. So be selective and few, okay? You don't want to give those spots up. Remember, that's prime real estate, okay? Do send your new friends a very short message, okay? So anytime that you send a friend request, one thing that you should be doing is keeping a log, okay? If you're not keeping a log, you should start keeping a log. Get yourself a notebook, write down their name so that you can go back and interact with these people as well. But what you want to do when they accept your friend request is you want to send them a short message, whether it be a typed message or a voice memo. I highly recommend a voice memo. They can hear your voice, they can hear your energy, they know that you're not trying to be spammy, they know that you're just excited about it, and send them a message just thanking them for their friendship. That's it. You don't send them your link to your business. You don't talk about your business. You don't try to sell them anything. You don't try to sponsor them. You are not cold messaging these people. What you're doing is you're building an algorithm with them. Okay, you're being genuine. Here's one of the biggest problems that happens in network marketing is people start looking at every person on their friends list as a sale or as a recruit. And you have to stop doing that. People join people, they're not going to join your business. People feel connected to people because they're real. That's when people are going to buy from you. That's when people are going to start joining you in your business. So you have to be a real person, connect with people, be social on social media, right? Like, mind blown. You mean I have to be social and run a business on social media? Yes. Yes, you do. You have to be a real person. You have to make connections. You have to show your personality with people and be interested genuinely in them being part of your social media world. So do send them a message and just simply thank them for accepting your friendship. That's it. Now here's the key. If they do not respond to you, okay, and this is why it's important to keep a list. If they do not respond to you within a week's time, guess what? Give them the boot. If they don't have the time or they're not willing to respond to a simple, non-salesy, genuine message of just saying, thank you so much for accepting my friend request. I really appreciate it, and I look forward to getting to know you. If they don't take the time to respond to that, what does that tell you? They are not going to like or comment or interact on any of your posts. They're taking up a prime real estate friend space on your friends list. okay? Give them the boot. I know it sounds harsh, but you have to be very selective, okay? Pick and choose. It's like you getting to be able to pick the most talented athletes out of any league that you want to create this monster team. And that's what you have to think about when you're sending out these friend requests. Who is good enough to be part of my world, right? Who do I want to share my life with? Who do I want to learn about? You get to create this whole social media world on your own. So you have to think about that things. Be very, very selective about who you keep and who you don't. Plus, remember that when you keep people that aren't going to interact, it's diluting your influence. You're hurting yourself by keeping those people just because you want a higher friend count, okay? Now, I said this before, be social, right? It's kind of hard when you're in business and you're learning and you're trying to find your footing. We become these infomercials. We become very robotic. Buy this, join me here. I did this, I did that. Be social. Engage with people, okay? So it's called social media for a reason, and I touched on this just a second ago. You want to give 5 times more than you're taking. I'm going to say that again. You want to give 5 times more than you're taking. And unfortunately, in network marketing, we do a lot of this. Gimme, 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 take, and you're not giving. You're not being social. You're not interacting with your followers. You're not finding genuine interest in the things that they're posting. You don't know what's going on with their life because you're so laser focused on how can I turn that person into a sale? How can I turn that person into somebody on my team? That's not how this works. Again, people join people, they don't join businesses. They join real people, genuine people. Be social. Get in the trenches. Know your audience. That's how you grow a loyal following. That's how you grow people that are going to keep coming back to you and purchasing. That's how you're going to build relationships with people that are going to want to build a business with you because you took a genuine interest in their lives. Okay? Stop promoting all the time. Okay? People, they want value. What are you giving them? What information, what value are you giving them? Rather, if it's with your business or anything outside. I want you to think about your Facebook page right now. If you scroll on your Facebook page, just do one little scroll. Would I see something of value, even outside of your business? Are you talking about those mommy struggles? Are you talking about maybe your weight loss journey that you're on? Are you talking about maybe a platform that you feel really strongly about? I know for me, when I was building my business, I talked a lot about my health struggle, and I continue to do. That's my platform. That's what connects people to me. That's what shows people that I'm real. Yes, I own a network marketing business, but I'm a real person. I struggle. I have these things. I have information to help you, okay? Provide value to your audience so that they want to interact, okay? Comment on their things. Show genuine interest in their posts, okay? Next time you're going to post something, I want you to really sit and think about it. In your business, if you're guilty of this, comment below, because I used to be, okay? Look, you learn as you go. I used to do something I call it post and pray. You throw it up because you're like, I haven't posted today, or it's been hours since I've posted, and I pray that it sticks and somebody buys or somebody joins. I used to do that, right? So post and pray. You don't want to post and pray, you guys. What you want to do is you want to be very intentional about the information that you're posting, okay? I would rather you sit and think about a post for an hour, right? Like really find something valuable, of great value to your audience, and formulate it properly, right? We don't want to be perfectionists though, so don't sit and be a perfectionist, but I want you to think of something valuable that you can offer your audience, okay? Don't just post up a graphic and post and pray about it. And before you do that, take 5 to 10 minutes to be social with your audience, okay? Go and like and comment with people, okay? Send them a message, check in with them. Hey girl, just checking in with you. Hope you had a great weekend. I seen that you posted that, the baby turned 3 years old. Congratulations, so happy for you. Be social. Take 5 to 10 minutes to be intentionally, okay? Listen to me, intentionally social. Here's the thing, a lot of times what we do, and sometimes we're trained, because I'm guilty of this. If you're in the Lash Dolls, give me a hashtag Lash Dolls below. I, as a leader, have been training my team wrong. I've been telling them, hurry, go and like a bunch of things before you hop on Facebook Live or before you post on something, and then do it and watch your engagement go up. And yes, it works. But here's the thing, Facebook is also penalizing you because you're not being intentionally engaging with your audience. You're going through and you're liking, going through like, scroll, like, scroll, like, scroll, like. Well, guess what? You're not taking that amount of time. Remember that I told you that Facebook deems appropriate that you actually were interested in that person's post. So if you've just been going through and liking things really quickly before you get into Facebook Live or waving to people, right? There's a training going around about that. Wave to all your new people and then hop on Facebook Live and it helps. Yes, it gives you a small boost, but it also penalizes you in your score in the long run because you didn't intentionally engage with your audience. And if you do that 5 to 10 minutes before you do a Facebook Live or before you post up something, guess what's going to happen? Your engagement score is going to go up, so that way when you do that post that you thought about to provide value, or you did come on to do that Facebook Live, Facebook is going to say, hey, they've got a really good score, let's show it to a larger audience. So be intentionally engaging with people on your friends list, okay? By doing this, it will increase your exposure 2 to 3 times. So think about the exposure that you have right now. Think about how many likes you have. Think about how many comments you have on things, how many viewers you have on your Facebook Lives. Just by being intentionally engaging, this can increase your engagement and your exposure 2 to 3 times. And then you just keep building on top of that, okay? That is huge. When you build relationships with people, and this is the whole thing of, you know, like it might help you in, you know, in the beginning, in the short run, but in the long run, it hurts you. When you intentionally engage with people and you've built that score, that relationship, that algorithm with that person, your things start showing up first on those people's timelines. You have a prime slot above everybody else on their news feed, okay? It's just like TV, right? So you have that prime time where those great shows come on, and that's where you want your stuff to be. You want to be in that prime time slot. And the only way to do that is to intentionally engage with people, to create that score and tell Facebook, look, I'm being social, I'm building relationships, give me a better prime time location on my audience's timeline, okay? Here's something that I didn't know. My mind was like blown again, brain matter everywhere. You guys, 80% of the people that watch your Facebook Lives never like on it and they never comment. 80% of the people who like or that watch your Facebook Lives never like or comment on your things. But here's the thing. Facebook will deem the certain period of time that somebody tunes into your Facebook Live, whether they've liked or commented on it or not, and it says, hey, that person's interested. Just because they didn't engage doesn't mean that Facebook doesn't realize that that person watched your video. So what happens? A lot of these people will start seeing your videos a lot more frequently, right? It's constantly showing up on their timeline. Your posts are showing up on their timeline. And what they don't realize has happened is they've watched your Facebook Live long enough for Facebook to say, hey, this person's interested. We're going to start showing more of that person's videos and more of that person's posts on that person's timeline. So just because people aren't liking and commenting doesn't mean that you cannot build a score with them. You just have to keep them engaged long enough for Facebook to say, ding, 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 she's interested or he's interested. Let's continue to show them these posts, okay? So again, creating value, providing value, being creative, being yourself is huge because you have a very small time frame to catch somebody's attention to keep them on long enough for Facebook to say that person is interested. Okay, so here's something huge, right? So Facebook has this thing called, you can like follow people, right? And you could do like see first, you could do like see regularly, you could not see them, and then you have like a list. You can create lists on Facebook, right? So what he had suggested is create a list of your top prospects, right? We all have that list, that team of awesome players that if you could create the most perfect team, you would pick these people. Okay, so you know who I'm talking about. Create a list on your Facebook page and put those people on that list. So when you go to decide to do a training or do a video demo or post something, you're going to take that 5 to 10 minutes of intentional engagement and you're going to work that list of your top prospects, because you always want to be seen by those people. And the way to do that is to intentionally engage with them. Pick your top list of people, intentionally engage with them 5 to 10 minutes before you do a Facebook Live, before you post something. And what's going to happen is Facebook is going to create that score with them. And when you go live and when you do post, you're going to get a prime spot on their newsfeed. Okay, so be intentional about the way that you're doing things. It's all about a systematic level of steps that you're taking to be intentional about the work that you're doing. You want to work smarter and not harder. And if you can create a higher interaction score with people that you truly know would be awesome at your business, that's what you do. You take that 5 to 10 minutes and you invest it into intentionally engaging with those people on your top list. The other thing is start looking at comments on your posts as a conversation. Okay, so again, we're on social media. When people comment on things, you should be jumping up and down, because that is by far the highest level of scoring that Facebook could give you, because it shows that people want to interact. They want to have a conversation. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm guilty of this. I was very guilty of this, and I still am guilty of this, because I tend to be overly busy, right? Not anymore. After hearing this, I am like, I have got to set time aside to do this. So Facebook gives you the highest score of engagement when you have conversations happening within the comment thread of your posts. So you want people to comment, and this is where it comes in, where you have to be very intentional about the verbiage that you're using. You want to use call of actions. Ask people to comment something below. When you're doing your Facebook Lives, ask them, if they're watching the replay, to comment #replay or something for the playback. Ask them to do a call of action. You want those comments flowing. Okay, here's where you get an even higher score. So let's say Sally comments on your post. Okay, you go back and you comment back to Sally. Ding, ding, ding. Now a conversation has started, but let's bring it up a level. If you can get Sally to comment back to your comment that you commented to her, Facebook now says, whoa, there's something awesome going on here. We're going to give this person a higher level of engagement because there's conversation happening. People are being social on social media. Okay, so the comment section is where your bread and butter is when it comes to obtaining a higher engagement score for social media. Now, if you can get that person to comment back to your comment, you've got it down. So you want to be intentional about the things that you're asking. Don't just say thanks or throw in an emoji for your response. If it's something that you can ask a question back about, definitely do that, because then that triggers that person to have to respond back to you to get that higher score for your exposure. Okay, so I just went over a whole bunch of things without even looking at it. Let me just go through this. Okay, so here's the thing. Facebook gives you 15 minutes, okay? 15 minutes from the time that you post something. And what they do is within that 15 minutes, they take your post and they test it out in a test group, okay? Which is basically a small portion of your friends list that you have some type of algorithm with, okay? That's who they show it to within those first 15 minutes. So I want you to keep this in mind. Again, when you're posting, be intentional about when and how and where you're posting, because the way to make the most out of your first 15 minutes is to get in that comment section. You want immediate interaction in the comments. Likes are great, comments are better, okay? So that's where the call of action comes in. If somebody comments, you want to comment back. You want to get that conversation going, because what happens is within that 15 minutes, if you can get a conversation going and you can get people commenting and people are being social on that thread, Facebook says, okay, this is a good post. We're going to expose this post to a larger group of people on this person's friends list. Okay, so you've gone from your test group into a larger section and you keep it going for as long as possible. Stay in the trenches, comment with people, be social, you guys. Really engage with your followers. And the longer that you can keep that going, the better for you, because your audience just keeps growing, okay? The more conversation you have going, the more Facebook says, hey, I think more of this person's friends list would want to see this post. Let's expand it out. And that's the whole point of this. So you have 15 minutes. 15 minutes to get that post rocking and rolling. And if you can't, guess what? It's only going to stay within that test group, and whoever ended up liking and commenting on it, Facebook then decides if they're going to show their friends. Okay? So the whole, if you can get people to like and comment on it, then their friends see it. You guys, Facebook determines that. There is no guarantee that just because they liked it, it's going to show up on their friends list and you're going to have that exposure. It's all about getting that conversation going. Okay? The other thing is that blew my mind, and I am so guilty of this. Oh my Lord, I am so guilty. If you are on my team, I am so sorry. I am a Facebook scroller, and I don't even realize it. There, I said it. The first step is admitting it. When late at night, I am a Facebook scroller. Now, during the day, I'm not. But at night, I lay in bed. I'm not a really big TV watcher. I scroll on Facebook. I look for ideas. I check in on my girls. I am a habitual Facebook scroller. I'm sorry. Okay? Now, I know a lot of you do this all the time and you don't even realize it. Who's guilty? Right? And sometimes you don't even realize it. Stop. Stop, stop, stop. And here's why, okay? And I literally had to like smack my hand a couple times today because I caught myself doing it. When you scroll on Facebook and you're not engaging, you're not taking that time to actually spend and read somebody's post or watch their video in that deemed appropriate time that Facebook says, hey, you're really interested, guess what happens? It hurts your score. Hello, what? You mean all of my late night scrolls? That's why sometimes my algorithm the next day is like in the dumps? And I can tell it's all making sense now because there's nights where I won't do that. And in the morning I'll post something and the engagement is in the hundreds. And then some nights I do that. I am scrolling and I post something and it's like crickets. It's like, hello? Can anybody see me? It's because you're scrolling and you're not being social on social media, okay? Facebook is penalizing you. They're penalizing you for being a scroller. So don't be a scroller, okay? You gotta stop. You gotta just smack your hand, okay? Even if you have to set little alarms to go off to remind you until you can break that habit, just keep telling yourself, if I keep scrolling, it's killing my score. It's killing my score. It's killing my score. Stop scrolling, okay? Facebook wants you to be social. Believe it or not, Facebook tracks every little keystroke that you make, everything that you like, every message you send, every word you use, all of these things Facebook watches. Facebook is watching you, okay? And that's how they determine your score. All right, we went over that. Let's see. Yeah, so basically in my notes it says if you look at a post a third of a time rather than what the deemed appropriate time is, they penalize you. Okay, so don't go through and be like, oh, let me check on my mom and see, you know, what she posted, or let me check on one of the guys on my team and see if he did anything, and let me just, you know, like it to show support. You can't do that. It's penalizing you. If you're not taking the appropriate time that Facebook thinks is the amount of time that shows interest, you're getting knocked. Okay, you're getting that score is getting knocked down and it's hurting you. All right, let's see. We talked about that. The early engagement. We talked about the first 15 minutes. I am like all over the place. Okay, we talked about testing your algorithm, how to make the best out of it. You guys, I was in the flow. I went like 3 pages ahead. Okay, comments. I think I touched on this. Comments are 3 times, okay? I know that I told you that they're more effective, but comments are 3 times more effective than a like, okay? 3 times more effective. Now this goes for your team pages, your VIP groups, the groups that you're running, right? You want people to comment instead of like. Now I know a lot of times in my team page, I say, give me a like if I know, so that I know that you've seen this. I have to stop doing that. I have to say, like, start putting your favorite emoji below, because I need to get that conversation going, because you want even your posts and your team pages or your VIP groups or whatever it is that you're running for your client base, you want that score to be there too, okay? So you have that score within those groups and your business pages and all of those things as well, okay? Get the conversation going. Okay, gifts. Is anybody a gift lover? I love gifts, okay? I love anything corny. I am a corny joke lover. Gifts make my life, okay? Gifts are a fun way to get the conversation going. If you feel that maybe it's not working or it's like pulling teeth to try to get a conversation going, who doesn't love a gift, right? Gifts are a really good way to communicate with people, to start a conversation, to get it flowing. So feel free to start using those in the comment section. That's huge for your business. Another thing is something called engagement pods, okay? Now, a lot of times we train our teams to, not like and comment on other people's things, right? Because you don't want them to expose each other to their audiences, right? Well, it doesn't necessarily mean that because they're doing that, it's going to expose you to their audience, as long as an exposure score isn't high. So engagement pods doesn't even have to be people within your business. It could be your best friend. It could be your mom. It could be anybody that you want. But an engagement pod is basically, it helps you build that interaction, gets that conversation flowing. You guys pick a couple people to be in your engagement pod. You say, hey, I'm getting ready to post in 10 minutes. Would you guys mind if you hop on over and get the conversation flowing for me, and vice versa. So think about engagement pods, especially if you're starting out or you have a really small audience. Engagement pods could be really beneficial for you, okay? Again, it's not for everybody. You got to pick and choose what's going to work for you and how you want to do your business. But that was a suggestion as well. All right, posting strategy. Now, I am just going to forewarn you, okay? Again, this is not the end all, be all. Everything works differently for everybody else, okay? I know a lot of times you're trained something different. Something else works better for people, so they train their teams for that. I am just the messenger. I'm just passing over information that has statistics and stats and results behind it. It's your business. Run it how you want. That's my disclaimer, okay? So nobody cut my head off. So what I learned is that you can get more exposure from posting on your timeline with 2 to 3 posts that have high social interaction, engagement, conversation flowing in the comments, okay? Get a higher engagement score from Facebook than posting. A lot of times we train people to post 6 to 10 times a day on Facebook. We figure we want to get in front of people more often, right? If we have 6 to 10 times to get in front of people if we post that many times. Now here's the stats behind that. That works for some people, okay? But again, if we're taking into consideration a Facebook score, this is why that it's suggesting 2 to 3 times max with massive social interaction, getting that conversation flowing. And the reason behind it is let's say you have you post something, right? And there's some engagement on it. There's conversation. People are flowing. It's a great post. And then you're like, it's been like an hour since I've posted. I got to post something else. And you post something. Well, guess what you've done? Both of your posts are competing with each other. Okay, Facebook is now putting that second post back into your test group while that first post still wasn't dead yet, okay? It still had potential. It was still running and flowing, but now you have posts that are battling head to head with each other. And then another hour, 2 hours pass and you got your third post up. Well, now all 3 of them are battling, trying to get that prime real estate spot on your friends list. And this is what's happening. And yes, the logic behind the more you post, it gives you a higher frequency of being in front of people. Logically, that kind of makes sense. But if you use the score and the engagement score for the algorithm and the exposure, it doesn't really make sense to compete against yourself, right? Especially if you have a post that's doing well. Now, if you have a post that's just dead, it's not doing anything, the engagement has stopped, then obviously go ahead and post something else, get it into that test group 15-minute phase, and try again to get that going. Now, if you're first starting, right, it's probably going to take you a few tries. You might have to post 6 times to get that engagement going and get into a good flow before you can build that social engagement score with Facebook where you can scale it back to 2 to 3 posts. Again, it's quality, not quantity. The more that you get people interacting on that post, the higher the score is, so that when you're ready to post again, your test group is now going from this to this, and that's really what you're trying to do. You're trying to get that test group to get larger and larger and larger each time, and the only way to do that is to build up that engagement score. And by doing that is by creating the conversation within your groups. Don't battle against yourself. Don't work harder. Work smarter, okay? Again, you're gonna have to tweak it. It's not gonna be something that you're gonna start doing and it's gonna automatically catch. It takes time. You have to show Facebook, hey Facebook, I know I was bad. I know I broke all the rules. I know I did everything you told me not to do. I know my score is probably in the negatives, but look, I'm trying. I'm doing the right things now. And what's eventually going to happen is that score is going to go up and you're going to see massive action. Okay? All right. Let's see. Oh, I just went over all those key points too. Look at that. Again, Facebook Lives. Is anybody terrified of Facebook Lives? Go ahead and comment below. I know a lot of people are terrified of Facebook Lives. I'll be honest with you. Every Facebook Live I get on, I'm like sweating. I am a nervous mess. I'd like black out. I don't really remember what I said, but you have to do it scared. So Facebook Lives are going to give you the maximum exposure out of anything that you post, over a picture, over text, over any of that stuff, okay? So Facebook Live is where it's at. You have to just close your eyes, press the button, and leap. Okay? If you want to build a successful business, you have to do the things that are on the other side of fear. Test it out. Just go on Facebook Live. It could be 10 seconds. Be like, hey guys, my first Facebook Live. Just wanted to test it out, see how it worked. That way when I'm ready to do real Facebook Lives, I know where all the buttons work. So hang tight with me. I'm going to play around with the buttons. You can come on and join me or whatever. You're not subject to a script. Okay, just test it out because Facebook Lives is going to be the bread and butter of your business. Okay, emojis. Does anybody love emojis? I love emojis. I love emojis. I could have a full-blown conversation with just emojis. Now, for those of you that are like, oh, not emojis, listen. You have to start using emojis, okay? And the reason is statistics show that if you use emojis properly, now don't go crazy, don't go ham with the emojis, but if you use them properly and strategically when you're writing in text on Facebook, what happens is the statistics show that it catches people's attention, right? Because they're scrolling on Facebook and you want your post to catch their attention. And how do you do that? By emojis, okay? So strategically start using them. Sprinkle them here, sprinkle them there, catch people's attention. All right, here's another one. And we preach this, a lot of us preach this, do not put your link in your Facebook description, okay? So any of your posts, your pictures, your Facebook Lives, do not put it in the caption of your post. The moment that you do that, you know what Facebook says? Stop. Guess what? Your test group went from this to this, okay? They're not going to show your post to hardly anybody because Facebook doesn't want people to leave their platform. And the moment that you put a link, a YouTube video, whatever it is, anything that's going to take them away from Facebook onto another platform, another website, anything, Facebook is going to say, not on our watch. We're not going to show anybody your posts. So how do you get around by doing that is by putting it in your comments. You can put links in the comments and you can say, hey guys, the link's below. Or you just put it there. People are going to see the comments anyways. Now you might see people in your industry that have success with putting their link in their comment. They have massive viewers and all of these things, but I can tell you this, If they were to take that link out, their exposure would be 3 times more than it is. So they're hurting their business. You want to keep people on the Facebook platform. Why? Because Facebook wants money. The longer people are on the Facebook platform, they see ads, they see promotions, they see all of these things that people are boosting and advertising, and they want the money to stay on their platform. They don't want the people to leave their platform, because that is going to take the money from their platform to another platform. So stop putting your link in the caption of your posts, okay? Big no-no. Little test area would go like this, okay? You want to expand it. You don't want to shrink it. All right. 5th thing, stop cold messaging, okay? Now, this is kind of like common sense. Like, duh, you don't want to cold message people. You want to build relationships with people. Like, yes, it is common sense, but I know as a leader for myself, there's trainings that go around the end of the month. You know, you do a lot of mass messaging. You don't do a lot of spam messaging, but you do a lot of mass messaging to people that maybe you don't have a relationship with on Facebook. Well, let me tell you this. This blew my mind, okay? So if you are on my team, just know we are no longer doing mass messaging. We're going to be intentional about the messaging that we're doing. So here's what happens. Every time you send a message to somebody and they do not respond, Facebook says, ding, we're cutting your score. It hurts you every time somebody doesn't respond to your initial message, okay? Now, I'm not talking about conversation that you have with people. Like, I have conversations with my best friend on Facebook or family members, and then we'll just stop the conversation. I'm not talking about Facebook hurt you that way. I'm talking about your initial message to somebody. If you mass message people, okay, trying to get them to your website, trying to get them to buy something, trying to get their attention, and they do not respond, they see it and they do not respond, it is hurting your engagement score on Facebook. So you have to be very intentional about engaging with people on Facebook, building those relationships with people. That way when you do send them a message, they're not like, why is she messaging me? Or why is he messaging me? I'm not going to respond, especially with your link in there. That is like a double no-no. Facebook is like, hold up, girlfriend. You've got to relax, okay? So stop mass messaging people. I know that it seems like common sense, but now that you know that it affects your score on Facebook for your Facebook engagement, I can guarantee that you will be more intentional about building relationships with people before you initiate a conversation with somebody behind the scenes to just get people to your website. Yes, I know I am. I'm going to be like, whoa, I got to make sure I go 10 years back on that girl's timeline and make sure I know everything about her so I can start a conversation with her before I say, hey, let's talk about this, okay? So be very intentional about that. If they mark your message as spam, Facebook basically puts you on a list of like, they're going to watch you. They're going to watch everything that you post, everything that you send, every little thing that you do, times 10. You do not want to be marked as spam. So again, don't send your link in an initial message to people. Don't send your link at all. If they don't ask for it, you don't send it, okay? If they didn't ask for something, you don't offer it. Plain and simple. Be very careful about sending your link to things because you can be marked as spam, and then you really think that your social engagement score is going to go down. It's really going to go down if people mark you as spam, okay? That's it, you guys. I know it's a lot of information. I'm going to wrap this up so that you guys can use this as a training for your teams. Feel free to rewatch this a couple times, share it with your teams. Again, it is not company specific. It's just a Facebook algorithm. It's how you can engage and get a higher exposure to your audience. I hope this was very helpful for you guys. If we're not friends on Facebook, go ahead and click the follow button on my page. Again, I'm being very selective on who I give my friend real estate to, so feel free to follow me. I hope that this was helpful for you guys, and I hope that you have a great rest of your day.